Welcome back, everyone! We are now ready for our last leg of the game. We're going to go take on Magneto. Now, the game sort of switches gears on us back to how we originally started. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Using Cerebro, I have scanned the minds of Magneto's acolytes. He is currently aboard his orbiting space station, Avalon. We must waste no time in stopping Magneto's plans of destruction. Use our teleporters to transport yourselves inside Avalon. And remember, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. So, Exodus, Xavier's children are no doubt coming to Avalon. They must be taught who their true master is. With pleasure, Master. They shall bow down before your presence and renounce Xavier's ways. Only then will Xavier understand that Magneto is the most powerful mutant in the world. Alright, so here we are back to our character select screen. Now, like when we started the game, now each character is going to have their own individual stage, as opposed to the last few stages where you pick the character to play on the stage. Now, the order you pick them in has a little bit of effect on the game at this point. Now, I tend to like starting with Gambit or Psylocke at this point, so I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Gambit. Alright, so now we have Gambit's stage. And Gambit's got to fight some new enemies, including these teleporting enemies. And these weird little robots. Luckily, he can attack them from underneath, destroying them so that way he doesn't have to deal with them when he gets to their level. These enemies are going to be common occurrences for the next couple of stages. There we go. Alright, now here's the mini-boss. This is Exodus. I don't know much about the Exodus character himself, but I can tell you that in this game... Oh, he got me. In this game, he's the mini-boss for the X-Men at this point. But only 2 of the 5 X-Men that we play will get to fight him. So right now, if Gambit defeats him, he'll have half his life left over for when he goes to fight the next X-Men. And any of them can fight them. I just prefer using Gambit and Psylocke to do battle with Exodus. Now, Exodus has 3 attacks. The grab that you saw him pull off on me before. That dive kick he just did right there. And he'll shoot lasers from his eyes. Alright, so Exodus is defeated. He's going to run off with half his life. And the next X-Men that fights him will fight Exodus at half health. But Exodus will be a little more aggressive and his tactics will change a little bit. Okay, that over there in the corner is a 1-up. But it's a 1-up for whatever character you see in the middle there. So right now it's a 1-up for Gambit, now it's a 1-up for Beast. I personally like to get the 1-up either for the character I'm playing, so that way if something goes wrong, they still have that 1 life left, or I get it for the character who has the lowest number of lives. Because at this part of the game, you don't lose when a character runs out of all their lives. They just can't be used at this part of the game any longer. But once all the characters run out of their lives, then the game is over. So I think we'll grab this one for Gambit and get on with the game. And here is Gambit's boss. He's going to fight holographic representations of all the X-Men. Well, all the X-Men we can play right now. Now, if I can carefully keep spamming these cards, I'll be able to defeat them all without getting hurt. But, as you've seen, I'm not exactly the best at doing all these movements. Forward part seems to be working alright on Cyclops. Alright. Actually, I don't think there's a holograph of Gambit that we have to fight. So it's just the 4 X-Men then. It, and down you go. Alright, now even though the mission is complete, you're not done playing with Gambit. I'll show you what I mean. Now we go straight to Magneto's throne room and take on the boss of the game. Now Magneto here has a couple of tricks. One is he puts that shield around him that protects him from all attacks. Then he pulls in metal sheets and throws them at you. The other thing he kind of does like a figure 8 around the room with his shield up. He does a figure 8 with the shield up so that you can't hurt him. And the other trick he has is he shoots a ball of pink energy at you that will paralyze you. Now you can only damage Magneto when his shield is down. And you're seeing right now what my trick with Gambit is. I wait for him to pull in the sheets, do his flip kick, and hopefully take out most of the sheets. So I'm right underneath him to throw a card up. Gambit's actually my preferred character to fight Magneto with. Because if you get the timing right, the flip kick will put you right underneath Magneto and destroy any metal sheets that might damage you. Doesn't always work, but I won't defeat Magneto right now. I'll just try to do a bit of damage to him, and then let him defeat Gambit, so you can see the other characters. And any damage that Gambit does with Magneto will carry over to the next character. Magneto's probably going to take us out in the next couple of hits. Try to get a few more shots in on him. Now you can also jump on those platforms that are circling him. But they're in the perfect spot for his figure 8 movements to get you. Alright, that's enough damage with Gambit. We'll move on to our next character. Alright, and I said I like using Psylocke also because she has a pretty good fight with Exodus. So let's pick her. Okay, now this is Psylocke's stage, and Psylocke's stage has a bit of a gimmick. See that crosshair that's following her around? It's going to try to lock onto her and blast her. But if she's hiding behind barriers like that, it won't damage her. She can also jump out of the way of it sometimes, but I don't have a lot of luck with that. Now over here is her 1-up. And the only way I know to get it is to bounce off the enemies. But unfortunately, that means a lot of the times, who gets the 1-up will be kind of random. Now in that case, I think she actually got the 1-up. Now the crosshair is gone, but now we have to beat all these enemies. Now once I think we beat about 6 of them, we'll be able to move on. And thankfully the game will tell us when we can move on. There will be a little arrow that says continue. Nuts. There's also a little energy bonus over there, because I would probably get beat up a bit and need that to keep myself from dying. Nah, really? It's stuck on the edge. But luckily, I believe the crosshair is gone and won't be bothering us any longer. So I'm going to actually take my time and kill these guys before moving on, because I don't want them interfering during the Exodus fight. Okay, there he is. Now, a few things changed this time around. He's got a little lackey helping him out. And if I'm careful, when I hit him, it will pause for a minute. I'll show you what I mean if I can actually hit him. There you go. When he pauses like that, it opens him up to some extra hits. Which is why I like to fight him with Psylocke. If I'm careful, I can get a couple of hits on him and get the cyanide. And I do believe that's the end of him. Now, no other X-Men will have to fight him as a mini-boss. That's provided I can finish this stage with Psylocke. Now, Psylocke's boss is this rocket. And this rocket can be more a pain in the ass than you would think. You have to be very careful because Psylocke can fall right off these platforms to her doom. And that's sort of the trick here fighting this thing. Thank God we got it. Now Psylocke's turn to fight Magneto. Now Psylocke has an even easier time fighting Magneto than Gambit does. If she can get underneath him when he pulls in the metal sheets, she can do her knee uppercut, destroy most of the sheets, and hit Magneto. But as you know, I'm bad at doing her knee uppercut. So we'll try to do a little bit of damage to Magneto with her. Tries the opt word, and then we'll get the other X-Men in here too. Timing on that one wasn't so great. it is possible to hit Magneto more than once. I'm just not really very good at it. If you're good at the dragon knee, or the knee uppercut, this can be a piece of cake. So let's see if I can get a little more damage in on Magneto. And let Psylocke fall, and we'll move on to our next X-Man. Now, I think we're going to do Beast next, because I have a very hard time fighting Magneto with Beast, so we'll get Beast out of the way. Alright, so here we go, Beast's stage. Beast stage is kind of short, but I prefer finishing the other stages first because I have a hard time fighting Exodus with him. Now, if you look up there, you might be able to see little sparks of energy running across the ceiling. Those will damage Beast and knock him off the area if it hits him. So we gotta be careful about that. I can't believe I walked right into it. Now, right here is where he would have fought Exodus, but we can just keep going right along. Now, the floor is electrified over here. Well, not electrified, but it has those little sparks. So, if we miss our platforms, we're going to end up down here. But Beast has a pretty easy time with these enemies, doesn't he? Alright, now over there is the 1-up for Beast, or Beast's 1-up. Now, it is possible to jump over there and grab it, but I had the easiest time doing Beast's headbutt attack and grabbing it. But just like with Psylocke, that means you end up randomly getting a 1-up for a character. And I missed it altogether. Alright, let's see if I can get back over there. Nope. But, for whatever it's worth, down here in this corner is a big energy for Beast. And if I'm careful, you might be able to finish the... well, you might be able to finish this part of the stage with full health for Beast, which will be good for when he fights his boss. There we go. But I fell down. Oh, that was kind of close. Alright, so hopefully I won't waste any more of your time jumping across these platforms. After all, third time is a charm, right? Alright, and this is it. This is the end of Beast's stage. We're going to fight Beast's boss. Now, the floor down here is electrified. If he lands in there, he gets damaged, no matter what. And the walls and the ceiling has those little sparks of energy. Nah! Walk right into that. So Beast has got to get to that machine that's firing blasts down at him and keep hitting it until it's destroyed. And after he hits it a few times, puts up a field of energy around it, which will damage Beast if he touches it. There it is. Overall, I think Beast has one of the easier boss fights to be put up with down here. Which I say while I'm getting beat up. But one more hit should do it. There we go. Mission complete. But now poor Beast has to go fight Magneto. Now, I never had any good tricks for Beast to fight Magneto. Beast can hang upside down from these platforms. But I just never had any luck using Beast to fight Magneto. So poor Beast is probably going to get beat up, doing next to no damage to Master of Magnetism. Actually, that's probably a good idea. I'll probably just keep bouncing off. Well, we'll never know. So, Psylocke, Gambit, and Beast have their shots. I think next we're going to go with Cyclops. Now this is Cyclops' stage. Cyclops is a pretty straightforward stage all in all. And the stage is actually fairly easy. One of the advantages that Cyclops has is that his beams will defeat each enemy with one shot, provided I can hit them with that one shot. Cyclops is also pretty good to use against Exodus, because his beam will knock Exodus out of the air, and his kicks knock Exodus out of the air. Careful. Come on. Quickly. There we go. Oh, missed him. It didn't miss me. He pulled in the other one. Alright. Now that is the one-up for Cyclops' stage. And this is a pretty safe area. So you can take your time and wait and pick the X-Men that you want to give the one-up to. And I think in our case we're going to give it to Cyclops. Because if anything goes wrong, and it can, we will have the extra life for him. We got one of them. You can see it's better to take those guys out over there than it is trying to get past them and jumping on these platforms. Now this is the area where he would have fought Exodus, but we're just going to walk right past that, grab this health item, and fight Cyclops' boss. The idea with this boss is to try to blast it between its barriers. But if you do enough damage to the barriers, then you'll destroy it. Now, the problem with that is, the more barriers you take out, the easier it becomes for the enemy to hit you as well. But honestly, this is usually a pretty easy boss, provided you can pull off the blasts better than I can. There's one barrier. There's two barriers. Come on, Psych. We got this. And there we go. The core is destroyed, and the mission is complete. But now he has to fight Magneto. Magneto still has all his damage that he took from Psylocke and Gambit and Beast. Again, Cyclops is another guy I don't really have a trick with, but just jumping and blasting him with your beam seems to work out pretty well, provided the timing is good. You could probably get up nice and close to him and knock some of them out of the way. There's that pink ball of energy I told you about. It stuns you for a little bit and does a lot of damage, actually. Alright, let's see if we can get one more hit in. Actually, no. Because I want you guys to be able to see at least some of the fight with Wolverine. And that's who we're going to pick next. Wolverine, and Wolverine will probably be the guy who puts down Magneto. So, what do you say we give it a shot? The Wolverine stage is pretty straightforward too. But of course, the trick here is he's got to take advantage of his climbing. These arrows are going to point him in the way to go. He's going to want to avoid those shots. Unfortunately, Wolverine doesn't have any tricks to help him take care of the enemies here, so he's just got to smack them around a few times. Ah, got caught. Walked right into that one, wasn't paying attention. Alright, and this is where he would have fought Exodus. And I don't remember if Wolverine really has all that hard of a time fighting with Exodus. But I do know that Wolverine and Beast are the only two guys that have their one-ups after fighting Exodus. So that's why it's usually better off defeating Exodus and then doing their stages. So that way you can always get the one-up. And there's Wolverine's one-up. get his one-up, like you just saw, I had to knock that platform out of the way. I'm just going to climb back up. And this is a pretty safe area too, so you can take your time and pick whoever you want to get the one-up. And once again, I think we're going to give it to Wolverine. Any minute now. There we go. Now Wolverine takes on his boss. Which again can be, sometimes this can be an easy boss, sometimes it can be a hard boss. He's going to want to stay up on these platforms that circle the enemy and take swipes at it. And right underneath the enemy is an electrified floor, just like with this stage. And if he hits that floor, he takes damage. Hope you're not getting motion sickness. But this, like I said, this can be a real easy boss sometimes. Sometimes it can be real hard depending on how well it takes shots at you. But, there we go. Mission complete. Now Wolverine gets to take on the Master of Magnetism. Now Wolverine has a couple of tricks. He can, well, I guess a couple mean literal too. I like climbing up into a safe corner and diving down at Magneto. Unfortunately, being up here leaves you vulnerable to being hit by his pink energy ball. The other thing you can do is just like Psylocke. You can get underneath him and do his Berserker barrage, but as you already know, I'm not good at that. Now, since I'm hoping to take him out with Wolverine, I should let you know that depending on which X-Men you defeat Magneto with, you get a different bit of dialogue. And hopefully you guys will get to see it. There we go. Good job, Wolverine. And the defeat of Magneto destroys his entire space station. No! I cannot be defeated. I am the true leader of all mutant kind. I swear to you X-Men that you've not seen the last of Magneto. Soon, the world shall tremble before my might, and not even you will be able to save it. Now each X-Men answers differently, and here is Wolverine's. You lost because you ain't the best there is, bum. So if I beat him with Gambit, Gambit would have said something. And that's all. Well done, X-Men. The threat of Magneto has been ended, for now. But no one can predict from where the next enemy may appear. We must ever be on our guard. Ever vigilant. The dream of a world where mutants and humans coexist in harmony must. Be realized. Return to headquarters, X-Men. There you go, the X-Jet, or the Blackbird if you prefer. And there are our heroes waiting for their pickup. and the other X-Men arrive with them. And there we go. There's our hero Cyclops and his lady love Jean Grey. Beast goofing off with Jubilee. Gambit and Rogue getting cheeky. Bishop congratulating Psylocke on a job well done. And Wolverine stands alone. And that, my friends, is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Thank you for playing, presented by Capcom. And thank you, Capcom, for making an awesome beat-em-up game from something like 20 years ago. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. The end. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you did, and you want to try this game yourself, the only place I know you can play it is on the Super Nintendo. To the best of my knowledge, it's not available on any other service, like, say, Virtual Console or that sort of thing. But, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next video.